Good evening. The Business Committee meeting for the Board of Trustees of United ISD is being held today, Tuesday, July the 10th, 2018, beginning at 6 p.m. in the UISD Boardroom, Inglewood, Laredo, Texas. The subjects to be discussed or considered upon which any formal action may be taken are as listed below. Items do not have to be taken in the order shown on this meeting's notice. Number one, listed below are the financial and operational items to be reviewed by business committee members with recommendations for action to be made at the next regular board meeting. A, actions items to be reviewed at the regular board meeting on July 18, 2018, with recommendations to be made by the business committee. Mr. Sam Flores.
Yes, sir. Item one, the approval of monthly disbursements. These disbursements for the month of June. We presented them to you all, and I don't know if you have any questions at this time.
No questions.
Thank you.
No questions this time, Mr. Sam. Sorry to make you get up and say we don't have enough.
I have more items. Okay.
Oh, okay. Number two, approval of monthly disbursement.
No, approval of
Excuse me.
submissions, sir.
That was number one.
Number two, approval of the submissions of certified estimated 2018 debt collections.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Molina, Mr. Ramirez, Mr. Santos, members of the audience. I'm here to present to you the submission of the certified estimated 2018 debt collection. We anticipate that we will collect 100% of the debt service collection rate for the 2018 taxes. Do you have any questions?
No questions, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Number three, approval of contract with the Wade County Elections Administrator to conduct November 6, 2018 election contingents on UAZ agreeing to the finalized early voting mobile branch voting locations.
Yes, good evening. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the Webb County Elections Administrator to conduct the elections of single-member districts 3, 5, and 6 of the United Independent School District contingent on UISD approving the yet-to-be-finalized mobile branch voting locations. Attached, you will see the election contract and the cost estimated. And also along that, you see it's going to be a total estimated cost for UISD of $25,878.52. Along with that, you see the resolutions, and at the end, you see the Exhibit F and Exhibit G outlining the early voting and the election day sites. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
No, ma'am, no, I had some,
Yes.
but it's all right, sorry.
Okay.
It's okay now. Number four, approval of the order elections for District 3, 5, 6.
Okay, yes. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the order calling of an election to be held for single-member trustee districts of United Independent School District on Tuesday, November 6, 2018, for the purpose of electing single-member districts number 3, 5, and 6, and to the term of office for such trustees be a term of 4 years in accordance with Section 11.059 of the Texas Election Code. This order will be presented at the regular board meeting and be read to the minutes. And it tells you about the early voting sites, and it includes the Exhibit F of early voting sites and the permanent branch, which is at the Billy Hall downtown, the administrative office.
November 6.
November 6th is the election, Tuesday, November 6th.
And these will be individual items read for the
Right.
full board.
Okay. Number 5,
Thank you.
approval of awards of property and casualty insurance. Ms. Dominguez?
Yes, I'm sorry. Good afternoon. Ofelia Dominguez. Good afternoon, board members. At this time, we're presenting, staff has completed a review of the district property and casualty insurance and recommends Acceptance of the renewal proposal submitted by the carrier Property Casualty Alliance Texas, PCAT. Excuse me. The following is a renewal basis. There is an increase in the premium, mostly based because of the catastrophic, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit sick. Based on the catastrophic claims that the whole insurance industry faced during this past year. Another of the items, it's the amount of coverage has increased based on the property that were insured and fleets or units that were added to the insurance.
You know, we're adding a couple of buildings that also have an effect on obviously increasing our premiums. You know, we're opening up San Isidro, opening up Alexander Ninth Street, and also Raúl Perales Middle. So I think that also had an effect on premiums.
When would it start? It starts.
All of them will start in August, sir. All of them are ready.
They're already,
They're ready. We fully staffed them already. We've got furniture, equipment. We're ready. As soon as teachers come in, students come in, we're ready to start school there. All of them.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How much is the educator's legal liability? What are we covered for?
The legal liability. Sorry. That's a minute.
Not what we are.
Not the cost, the actual coverage that we
Yeah.
have at this time? I'm sorry, I do apologize for this.
Open the book work. Mr.
The general liability is at 1 million. Educators' legal liability is also at 1 million.
Per claim or per occurrence?
This is per claim. It's a claims made and reported claims policy.
And we have a $25,000 deductible.
What I would recommend is to also look at an excess umbrella coverage, and I think that is something that you can get relatively inexpensive.
Inexpensive.
And only because I'm dealing with a claim in another school district that, if it goes over $1 million, then
Yep.
where do we get the money to satisfy a judgment or settlement?
Right.
So that's something to look at.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and request that from our carriers, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Any other questions, sir?
I'm sorry?
Any other questions, sir?
No, ma'am. Mr. Jackson, do you have anything else, sir?
No, not this time.
Okay. Let's go to
Thank you.
approval award bids, proposals, and qualifications.
Good afternoon. The administration has the following for your consideration. RFP 2018-002, graduation supplies. Recommended vendors, Graduation Source, Herff Jones, Senior Class, and South Texas Balfour. RFP 2018-036, district-wide uniforms. The recommended vendor is GA Advertising for Section 1, 2, and 3 for the respective amounts listed. RFP 2018-040, district-wide HVAC filters. The recommended vendor is Filtration Products. An estimated annual amount is $145,721.76. RFP 2018-042, the removal of the United Middle School auditorium seating. This is actually going to be paid to the district. The vendor is going to remove the seating, and they'll purchase the seating that they removed for $1. And then we have 8 renewals for your consideration.
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am. Approval number 7, approval of first amendment to the Sam Build contract between United ISD and the Sam Builder and Decker Construction of Texas for RFQ 02A/2015 Aquatic Center.
Yes, this is an amendment to the design build contract we brought before you November of 2015. In that contract, we had an estimated design fee of $830,000 that included a $50,000 contingency. Due to the change of scope of this project, we're recommending to increase the design fee to $894,685.75. And it again will include the $50,000 contingency. There's no GMP that will be presented at this time. At a later date, we'll bring for you a GMP. This is just so that they can continue with the design of the aquatic center.
This amount was already included on the bond issue.
This is not a bond issue. I think this is, will be taken out of the Webb County Land Fund. And then probably the balance, whatever we need, we'll look at our fund balance to cover it.
Rainy day fund?
The rainy day fund, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Number 8, selection of board members as delegate and alternate delegate to attend 2018 Delegate Assembly.
Yes, Mr. Ramirez, you know, the last couple of years, we've had you as our delegate and Mr. Rodriguez as an alternate. I'm not sure if you still want to
Yeah.
serve as a delegate.
He likes it, yeah.
So we'll put both of you there as, and put Mr., you be a delegate, Mr. Rodriguez will be the alternate.
The second.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Number 9, approval of interlock agreement between Wood County and United Independent School District juvenile JP court coordinators. So haven't we had any agreement in regard to the juvenile JP courts before?
Equipment, no, we've always had an agreement, interlocal, and the reason we have that is we do have our employees that work at the court, and at the same time, obviously, to make sure that half of the amount that our coordinators get paid, the county pays for half. And they work very close with our campus principals, high schools
High schools.
on discipline issues, yes, sir.
Rendon?
I think Mr. Santos.
Yes.
That's okay. Good evening, board members and members of the audience. This is an annual agreement that we bring forth for approval. These are 2 individuals assigned, one to Pepe Salinas' court and another individual to Ramiro Belis's court. And they coordinate the efforts, as Mr. Santos mentioned, regarding truancy efforts, and they work very closely with all of our attendance officers at the campuses to coordinate truancy court proceedings and efforts with our parents and with our attendance officers at each campus and with campus administrators.
Questions, sir? No further questions? Let me. Number 10, approval of request from board members in reference use of board of trustees discretionary funds for various project campuses.
Mr. Ramirez, there are no additional requests other than the 2 that are included in your board packet.
Okay. There's on this one says submitted by Alisa. In regard to that, approval of request from board members, as Alisa requesting. Okay.
And that one, Mr. Ramirez, we're gonna put it as an individual item because there's always,
So-
as you know, people
Yeah.
that submit so we'll just put it as an individual item
Individual,
from now
yeah,
on.
that's also. Thank you. Okay, approval, number 11, of optional flexible school day program for 2018-2019. So we continue the PATS, Positive Approach of Student Success, program Melinda B. Johnson High School.
Yes.
Rendon.
Once again, board members, this is the 3rd year that LBJ High School will be utilizing this optional flexible school day program. What it does, it allows for our students who are at risk of dropping out due to absences, missing credits or so forth, to have a flexible schedule in their school day, either from 8 to 12 or from 12:30 to 4:30. And it allows them to complete graduation requirements to assist them. In some cases, these individuals work to provide, to help support their families. So we give modifications or a flexible schedule for them, which allows them to go out and join the workforce or get their credits up to date for them. And I just want to go through the PowerPoint so I can share with you a little bit of information with regards to this past year's program as well.
What, can you explain to me in regard to, you back to Mr. Explain to me on the, what it says, will be denied credit for 1 or more classes in which the student has been enrolled as a result of attendance requirement under Texas education.
Anytime, Yes, sir. Anytime there's a situation or a student who does not complete 90% of attendance in the classroom, which is normally 17 school days within the school year of 185 days, but at 180 days. At a campus, more so, it's about 8 absences that they cannot exceed that. If not, they lose credit or have to be placed on a principal's plan of action in order to get their credit, regain their credit.
And all this is stated to the student
Yes, sir.
while they're giving him or her the chance to study while they work or whatever absence, so that they can avoid dropping.
Dropping out, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. If you allow me to go through the presentation just real
No,
quick?
ma'am, I mean, it's fine, you have the floor if you want
Okay, well,
to.
thank you, sir. The optional flexible school day program, this is an allowance by the Texas Education Code, sir, thank you, which allows students to participate in a flexible school day program. It, like I mentioned before, it allows for optional flexible school day program. Any student who is at risk of dropping out or not receiving the credit because of absences in that particular area of the content area. Students eligible under this program do not have to meet the traditional 180 days, 5 days per week requirement. So that's why it's called an optional flexible school day program for these particular students. It provides districts with a full year of ADA for students participating in this program, even though they're only coming half a day for us. The requirements, and you'll see this at next week's board meeting, is we present to the school board for approval. We have to hold a public meeting, so we'll have that in the agenda at next week's meeting for you all to approve that and hold that public meeting with everybody. And then we submit our application to the state of Texas. We've had this in the past at LBJ High School. This is the 3rd year that we would be utilizing this program. The next slide. We will use the Odyssey Work program, which is already in place. We'll have one teacher assigned who's already there. And the teacher provides remediation on concept skills, on basic skills in the Odyssey Work program, which is your content area and your elective courses that we have, so that they can recapture some of those credits that they may have lost. And they monitor the students very closely. And upon completion of the program, students will be transitioned back into the school year, or in some cases, we have had students who have actually completed and been able to graduate from high school. So the goals, of course, is anybody who has a hardship due to extenuating circumstances is allowed. So we look at these particular students, we vet them, and then we give them the opportunity to join this program. We provide students an option to recover credits lost or in jeopardy of losing credits. And we facilitate students with an alternative approach to learning. And the whole entire goal is to reduce the number of students who drop out of school due to credit loss. The data for, and it should be the 17-18 school year, I apologize for that slide, but we had 24 students enrolled, 5 students who graduated, 29 credits were recovered in the fall semester, but if you see, there was a significant increase in the number of credits that students received during the 2nd semester, which probably had additional students. They were skipping, dropping out, maybe they had to go back to work, some students who didn't have childcare and so forth. So we managed to recapture 129 credits, a total of 158 credits were recaptured with this program for these particular students. And so we just want your approval to approve this program to continue at LBJ High School.
Any questions? This will be
Individual.
so approval of a standard response protocol manual. Ms. Rendon?
Yes, sir. The next 6 items, I believe, are dealing with safety and safety measures that we've implemented across the district. This is our manual. It's still a work in progress. It's about 230 pages that we've been working on in coordination with the police department, risk management department, and our district staff to provide a standard response protocol for all of our schools to utilize in the event of an emergency or any critical situation that may occur at campus. When you look at the slides in the PowerPoint, at United ISD, our goal, number 2, which is over there, we're approved by you all, it's to provide a safe and nurturing environment, positive and secure learning environment for all stakeholders, and also take proactive measures to ensure appropriate training in emergency situations. And that is exactly what we've been doing. We've been building scenarios in 2 scripts. Susan Carlson's department, the ITV department, has taped individual scenes. So we're going to be utilizing with our teachers, our students, for training scenarios as to what to do in the event of there's a fire at your campus, how do you get out? There's a blocked door, there's an active shooter on your campus, there's a lost child on your campus, somebody on the bus, comes in and knocks on your door, and they're demanding for you to open that particular bus door. So there's different types of scenarios because we want individuals to be trained on how to react to various emergency situations.
I have a question in regard to, you mentioned a key word that I always was concerned. In regard to a shooter, are they gonna be asked to stay still in the room, do not open the door, because you never know if the shooter will be close to that room. And as soon as they open the door, if somebody they start shooting, somebody's gonna get hurt. But I guess until whoever's in charge of control.
Yeah, I think what they have, and Mr. No will share with you, there's a plan of action, working very close with the campus principals and our police department on that particular reaction. I think Mr. Nod will share with you some of the different protocols that we've got to train our staff to be able to make sure that we follow. Obviously, student safety is always the high priority. And she'll share with you a couple of scenarios that I think they've been trained, or will be trained. I'm talking about our teachers and obviously our students too.
Yeah, the chief is here, can he give a little explanation on that, or?
I think Mr. Don will probably share that with you, and then Chief will be here to supplement whatever she.
Yeah, he's there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Don?
So we continue, as a school district, we have the responsibility to keep our staff, students, and visitors safe, work with our district, local, and federal law enforcement agencies to maintain current and up-to-date practices and policies aimed at maintaining safety and efficiency. In actuality, I'd like to extend an invitation to you all as well. Tomorrow morning at 8:30, we have an interagency meeting so that we can review our protocols and our procedures with members of our community law enforcement, not only local PD, which is the Sheriff's Office, Laredo City Police officers, and we've also invited DPS, state officers, and federal officers to come in and join us so we can brief them on our protocols. That's going to take place tomorrow morning at 8:30 at the SAC.
8:30?
Yes,
Yes, sir,
in
you
the meeting.
invited.
And so I extend that invitation to you all. And we want to keep our parents informed in a timely as possible manner. As far as the Texas Education Code and what it says, we are required as a school system to train our employees in responding to an emergency. We must have mandatory school drills and exercises to prepare students and employees for responding to an emergency. We must ensure that measures are coordinated with the Texas Department of State Health Services and local emergency management agencies, law enforcement, health departments, and fire departments in the event of an emergency. They too will be joining us tomorrow at the meeting. We've invited Steve Landine, from the fire department, and we've also invited Dr. Gonzalez from the health department as well, with our director of health services. And then the implementation of a required safety and security audit, which has always taken place. As far as our initiatives and what we have done, just put them all on paper for you all so that you can see how many layers of safety measures that we have in place within the district. We've coordinated efforts with United ISD Police Department, the Risk Management Department, and Safety Committee to revamp our multi-hazard emergency operations plan, which is now your standard response protocol. We held a school safety presentation with all campus and district administrators on June 11th. Officers and several school administrators participated in active shooter simulation trainings last month. It was an eye-opening experience for a lot of our administrators to be part of that. We have revised our policies. We have revamped district procedures for after-school adventures program dismissal. They must exit through the front doors instead of not for the sake of convenience, where it's the closest door to exit, but we have one standard door that's always open and manned by security personnel. We have also extended police presence at our schools for after-school hour activities as well. We have established electronic controlled access card procedures and guidelines, which is your keyless cards, which are going to be used by a lot of our administrators and teachers at our campuses. We have established MOUs with City, County, and Laredo College for reunification plans. We've modified MOUs with Laredo Police and Sheriff's Office for mutual cooperation. We have had district personnel, police department, who will receive continued training on mental health issues. We have purchased supplies for Go Kits. And what these are is it's a crisis bag that every teacher in our school district will have. They will have, it's a red bag, it says Go Kit. And in that bag, they will have supplies. They must place their student rosters in that particular bag. They have a first aid kit, a small first aid kit for just minor emergencies. And then they also have pads and pencils in case they need to sign students out for rosters and so forth, that bag is, you grab and go. When you have an evacuation, when you have a critical situation, you must know who your students are and how to contact the parents of these particular children. The the campus emergency response team will also have a safety vest so they can be easily identified. They will have a bullhorn in case they cannot get to a PA system, so that way they can call and form in the crowd. And they will also have a whistle in that particular area as well, in that bag, so they can go. We have established training schedules for crossing guards. Our crossing guards are, we are attempting to put our police officers inside the campus building in the morning and afternoon duties, so they can monitor our student population coming in, coming out. And we are training different individuals to do crossing guard duties at the campuses, so that our police officers are free to monitor the campuses in the building, so that they're monitoring who comes in, who comes out. So we are having mass training of over 200 crossing guards in our community. These could be custodians, paraprofessionals, other individuals who may just be coming in who are not necessarily licensed certified peace officers, but in other individuals, so that our police officers can be inside the buildings instead of on the streets.
Will there be an extra duty for the custodians?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, yes. They'll be paid, the hourly rate, whatever additional hours they work. Could be the custodian, could be a teacher aide, could be anybody, but yes, those are extra hours, yes, sir.
Other than the custodians, would you say that
Teacher aide, sir?
teacher aide? Okay.
Yes, paraprofessionals.
We've also extended an invitation to local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies for increased law enforcement visibility on our campus. We have written letters to all our agencies, and we have invited them to come in either for breakfast, for lunch, for snacks, anytime from 7 in the morning to 1:30 in the afternoon, so that we can have a higher visibility of outside law enforcement agencies within our school systems as well. And we've asked them to come in, work on your reports. Instead of parking at the Target parking lot, come park in our schools. And, in your police car, in your police unit, or in your squad unit, so that we can have that extra police presence, and people can see that. And people will think twice before taking, other inappropriate measures. Other initiatives that we've done is we are moving forward on the See Something, Say Something, Do Something campaign, where we are encouraging individuals to report incidents or issues that they believe that may be unusual or suspicious. And we're also promoting Acknowledge the Care and Tell Act campaign, which is a mental health outreach program for potential suicide individuals. All right, so those are the things that we are expanding on with our counseling department and with our counseling department to promote at the start of the school year. We'll have posters of all of these at all of our schools to encourage students to report anything unusual, and even our parents as well, to report unusual activities at the schools.
Is it in all of the school districts, right?
All the
On all the
campuses. All buildings, actually,
Everything, this is all district-wide.
district-wide.
In addition to that, effective the 2018-19 school year, the district will implement a limited bag policy at all athletic and fine arts events. And so what we are saying is no large bags unless they're your clear bags. And if you do bring in a large bag, it's going to be subject to search. And so we are pushing this, promoting this, and this is at all athletic events where we have thousands of people at our stadium or at our gymnasiums for large games or rivalry games and so forth, and at fine arts events as well. In addition to this, we have adopted the Standard Response Protocol, which is the poster that you see over here on the wall. This is the adopted terminology to use across the district as well. And this is the terminology that is used by law enforcement in the nation, all right? And all classrooms, hallways, and district buildings will display the SRP poster. And all of these icons that you see, the drills and any other type of emergency situation will always follow these particular directions on this poster. So when you have lockout, it tells you exactly what the students are supposed to do. It tells you what the teachers are supposed to do. For lockdown, again, the directions are there for the students and they're for the teacher, for the evacuation, for the shelter, and for the hold. And we are creating different training videos so that individuals will know when to use these when they're called. And we've been training our administrators as well in these particular areas. As far as the infrastructure safety, the district has done so much, and I just want to share with you all that we attended a conference earlier in June, and our district is so far ahead of many other districts across the state of Texas. First of all, the presence of UIZ police officers at every single one of our campuses is really unheard of across the state of Texas. We are one of the only districts in the state that has a police officer from elementary to middle to high schools. So what we've done also at the elementary schools and the high schools, elementary and high schools will be ready at the start of August 15th, first day of school, to have keyless access control systems effective the 2018-19 school year. So doors will be locked. All the perimeter doors at the campuses will be locked. And the only way that you can access them are through your keyless card, all right? And so elementaries and high schools will have that. Middle schools, they are in progress, and as we finish those, they should be finished throughout the course of the 2018-19 school year, but they are in progress, all right? And that would allow them, the teachers would have access to those cards, and only certain doors would have the accessibility to enter. But they don't have to remain open so that the teacher walking across the parking lot comes into that particular door and that door is completely open. It will be locked.
And the other item, our police will have access to all our campuses with a keyless access control.
All our police?
Our police can access any of the buildings with the card that they have. Any of the-
All buildings.
Any building.
In addition to that, all classroom and office interior doors shall be locked at all district facilities, and this is what we're training our teachers to do. The magnetic strips that we have on the door frame, which are the steel door frame, so the doors are locked. We're also telling our teachers that they must also carry their key on their person at all times in the event that that magnetic strip is not there that particular day of a lockdown or of an active shooter or a threat at the campus. And all school entry doors locked and monitored. All visitors continue to be screened entering the building. We'll be using the Raptor system, continue to use that. We have 24/7 video camera monitoring. Our security stations are under construction. For the most part, a lot of them are finished already, but they will all be finished by December of 2018. All right, so everybody will have to go through a security station at every single one of our schools
On the
come
entrance to
January.
the building.
Come January. And again, as I mentioned before, UIZ police presence at all campuses. As far as the protocols for drills, Mr. Ramirez, you were asking. We will send a school messenger message 10 minutes before conducting a drill. The parents, of course, if there's a change, we always ask parents to keep their contact information current because that is a number that we're going to be contacting them. Drills will be conducted in accordance to state mandates and district expectations. So we always follow those protocols as well. As far as the communication, the reunification plan, this is in the event that there's a catastrophic or a major event at one of our schools, that we have to evacuate the entire school building to another location, another off-campus site. We are making arrangements to get either with the LEA, which is now the Sames Auto Arena, or the LCC South campus, or the county facilities, either the pavilion or so forth, the one closest proximity to the affected campus, so that's where we would take our students. We would have our buses transport our students with our teachers, and we would have a process as orderly as possible in all the chaos that would occur to reunify the students with their parents at that particular location and site. Okay? And then, of course, we always remind our parents that School Messenger will be utilized to keep our parents informed. In addition, the district's official website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages will be utilized to post any updates. And there's a lot of copycat pages out there. We always ask our parents to follow the district's official social media sites as well. As far as what's next in the district, as I mentioned to you, we do have our Integrated Response Agency meeting to be held tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. at the SAC. We have developed standard presentations for parents regarding district standard response protocols. So the icons and posters that you see, the type of an emergency, we want our parents to know what we are doing. So we have created, Mr. Santos and Chief Gardner recorded a message to our parents today. They will record one in Spanish as well, so that we can show it to all of our parents during Meet the Teacher Nights and PTC meetings throughout the course of the school year. We also developed standard presentations for administrators, so that we could train all of our employees on what to do, exactly precisely what to do on a lockdown situation, on a lockout situation, on an evacuation. So we are having those discussions with our administrators once they return next week as well. We will distribute safety materials to all campuses as it arrives, which is the materials in the Go Kit bags. And we will continue to meet on a monthly basis with campus site safety compliance officers and continuously enhance our SRP manual as needed. Any questions?
Well, I think you explained thoroughly everything. In regard to the training that has given to everyone, I hope that they have sufficient time to manage the education in school.
We've got to drill and drill and drill, and make sure that people all of a sudden becomes just reactive to what it is that they've got to do. But we'll start, in August with our staff at all the campuses, and there'll be continuous drills through the year, throughout the year.
I do want to say that in the number of school districts that my firm represents, this district in particular is way ahead of what other districts are doing, in large, acknowledgement to Gloria and her efforts of really putting this information together. So I think it's to be commended in terms of what UISD is doing, because it puts you a much further ahead than others.
But really, it has been a concern, thank you for that. It really has been a concern of all the board members and administrators.
Absolutely.
And also, we have also questioned the administration of the police department in regard to see how big or how good or how much is the attendance and security in those buildings, those schools, and because of the security of our students.
Yeah, I also want to commend, obviously, there's a lot of people involved. I know the police department got actively involved in Splendora. I know the risk management department also, and the campus
yes.
principals. But it was, I know that they've had a lot of meetings, spent a lot of time, but I think we have a good plan. It's a good beginning. And it's, we move forward, we'll begin to modify it, to tweak it, to make it better. But I think at this point in time, what Mr. Cruz said, I think we're way, way ahead. And the whole idea is the student safety. That's our main concern, student safety, employee safety, and anybody who comes to our schools.
In my behalf of all the years that I've been, I guess Mr. Molina was going to say something, and Mr. Rodriguez otherwise. I mean, it's a good presentation. It's something good and new that we haven't heard in years. It is good. It's very affordable. I'm sorry?
Long time coming.
It's very affordable, and I guess it's from there, we're gonna get a lot of good, positive response into that, so let's just follow the rules.
That's what they want to hear.
From the health.
And I think one of the things that I think Mr. Rendon sort of touched over, they've had a couple of trainings, and I think the administrators going with our police department really was very good. They went through the active shooter drill, and I think it really opened up a lot of eyes, and I think it's going to help us on the training as we do that in schools. And I want to thank Chief and his staff, the two captains and lieutenant and sergeants.
In my behalf, I'd be happy if the administration can show the board members in regard to the training that those.
We have a video.
Mark,
Susan has a video already that we're going to be presenting. We'll share that with you. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Yes, sir.
There's several, sir. There's different videos. I mean, we're also going in as far as training, using some scenarios to train some of our bus drivers how to react in an emergency situation, such as, individual gets on the bus, there's a student who has even a seizure on the bus. How do you react to that when you're driving a bus full of students and so forth? So we're doing various scenarios so that we can just at least open up the dialogue with our employees and as to how to appropriately react.
Because we have had real scenarios and during the time I've been here, we got to the bus drivers. I mean, the way they attack the bus and the way they behave in the bus and so forth, whatever they do to the bus drivers also. Any questions?
Mr. Ramirez, number 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 is really the reunification. It's a process of trying to work with all the different entities. I'll let Mr. Rendon just cover one, but if you all could consider approving all of them, it really deals with the City of Laredo, Webb County, Laredo Community College, City of Laredo, and I think one would cover, can you just share with
Yes, sir.
Right.
Again, we talked about the reunification plan in the last PowerPoint, and this is for a major catastrophic event that would occur on a campus, where we would have to remove our students from, and our staff members from the campus, because should something detrimental occur on one of our campuses, more than likely, law enforcement will not allow anybody to leave in their vehicles. Teachers or staff, it would become a crime scene. So in preparation for that, or even a fire, that we would not be able to access the parking areas or so forth, we have to establish a plan of action as to where do we take our students. And when we start looking at some of our campuses who are really large, our high schools, what is the best place to take our students so that they can reunite with their parents and their families. And so we have made arrangements or agreements. Mr. Juan Cruz's office has prepared these memorandums of understanding between UISD, and we have one with the City of Laredo for the Sames Arena, which is a former LEA. And that would be the facility that would be utilized by a lot of our campuses in the north side of town, because it's of closer proximity. And so we ask our city officials to assist us with traffic, monitoring, barricading appropriate, and making sure that we deliver the appropriate students to the students to their parents, and document that as well. And so we're doing this with LCC South for our southernmost campuses as well. And in addition, LCC is also asking if they're going to ask us if they could use one of our sites if they ever have the need to come into if there's ever a need at their, or a situation at their campus that would need for them to be evacuated into our facilities as well. And then the last one we have would be for the county, which is probably the Pavilion. The only campus that I would ever see using that is Guayal Elementary, who's almost right across the street from that particular area. It allows us to use our Wi-Fi system so that we can log in, take our laptops, and hopefully if a student does not know their phone numbers, hopefully that we can look them up in the system and make contact with their parents, their guardians.
It's also with the sheriff department, police and the sheriff also.
Those are 17 and 18 are approval of memorandums of understanding between Webb County, and it has to do with more of a mutual cooperation agreement. These are not new, the last two MOUs that you have there, but more than anything, they're just revamped because of a change of administration in those particular areas. So it's more so assisting us with traffic, assisting us with crowd control, assisting us with manpower, and anything else that would come into a situation of a crisis.
That's a well worked scenario in regard to the parent reunification process and so forth, so those areas. And you were saying,
that Zuniga and Mr. Aranda with the buses, because that's how we're going to have to transport the students and staff to this particular, hopefully it never happened, but if it happens, then we got a place for it to take.
Thank you.
thank you. Question, you say no? Okay. Consent, you already told us.
It would be number 18, Mr. Ramirez.
Number 18, approval of the first and final reading of policy DH local employees. Ms. Claudia Rendon will be
Yes.
the presenter.
One more, in reference to also, in revising our procedures, we looked at some of the areas, and one note we had with regards to cellular phones, because sometimes, for whatever reason, we have to be prepared that our teachers may get an alert on their cell phones with regards to a situation that occurs on their campus. So our previous policy did not allow for our teachers to use their cell phones, in some cases that the phone must be off at all times. So we are striking that language off the policy, and we are going to make a little revision upon the personal use, that it can only be used for official school business instead of just personal use at the campus level. And then we've also added our keyless at the last section. We added our procedures for our keyless keys, I guess. Keyless access cards.
Which are basically cards like these.
Okay.
That they are responsible for them, that they must be reported to administration if they lose them, so they can be immediately deactivated, so that we put that in our policy as well, so that the employees know exactly what to do.
The other item, if the employee loses his card, there is a fee to replace a card. I mean, those things are extremely important to be able to
Which
have
ones, sir?
control.
The cards, those cards, white cards,
Yes.
I have one I guess the one you have to be renewed with a new one, no?
Well, but you don't have access to the buildings.
No, it's
This is just an ID card, yes, sir.
No. I was issued by Mr. Garcia.
Yes, an ID card, with a picture.
I was issued by Mr. Garcia also besides the ID card, one of those, white cards. I
I'm not too
had,
sure for what building.
well, to come here.
Or to come to this building?
Come
Okay.
here, I guess it's to come here only, but that
Yes.
was many years ago when Mr. Garcia was.
He was young.
Well, we'll take your picture, give you a new ID card, and
I have the ID card, I have the old ID card, the new ID card, with the old one, I have the white card that you showed me.
well, you might want to bring that to make sure that it still works.
Yes.
If not, we can reactivate something for you.
Yeah, the one from 1990, I still have it, yeah.
Okay.
Number 19, first reading of policy update 111.
Basically, just, it's first reading, Mr. Ramirez. So this way, y'all can begin to look at that, then we'll come in August for the final reading on that one, sir.
Okay. B, informational items to be presented to the Business Committee. Finance Division monthly financial report, Mr.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I told you I'd be back.
say light up.
Yeah.
Turn around.
No, you got the good-looking one tonight. We have a portfolio overall investment of 205 million. Of that, 44% is the general fund at $91 million. We still have the three issues that we had for the bond election. You can see the 2014 and 15 are dwindling down, but in total, they're 68.9 million, which is about 34% of the district portfolio. We're investing at a rate of 1.96%. For the first time, we're a little bit behind the current pool rate. That's good news. That just means that the interest rates are starting to go up. We have short-term investments that will be maturing, and now we'll start catching those higher investment rates. Our administrative cost ratio is at 8%. The Texas Education Agency requires 11.05, so we're well below the administrative cost ratio. Our financial report shows revenues at 305 million, which is 84% of our budget, and expenditures of 342 million, which is 88% of our expenditures. We will be getting 3 more state payments. They'll total $62 million over the next couple of months, so that'll catch us up on revenues. The tax office report for the month of June shows a collection rate of 98.34%. As of July, it's 98.5%, and our delinquent tax rate is 58.46%. Last year, at the same time, it was at 55, so we're also collecting more delinquent taxes through June. And then the rest of the report has items from the purchasing department and the grants department. You got any questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Mr. Flores?
The next item is just to let the public know that before the board meeting next month, we will have a public hearing on the 18-19 proposed budget and the tax rate. It'll be at the SAC, August 22nd at 6 p.m.
It will be at the meeting.
Yes, sir.
Where's the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, next month.
Next month, that's right. Okay.
Thank you.
3, delinquent taxes, 2017, delinquent taxes turnover to delinquent tax attorney for collections.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Molina, and Mr. Ramirez. Yes, we're turning in the 27 delinquent taxes to our delinquent tax firm of Alarcon and Sines. As of July 1st, 2018, the United ISD Tax Office turned its 2017 delinquent taxes to the firm. Current year taxes, it's $3,650,005.06. And the prior years, 2016 and prior, it's $3,677,197.26 for a total of $7,328,002.32. Out of all these delinquent taxes that have been turned, it's 1.86% of the original tax roll. Our original levy, it's 195.6. And Mr. Sines is here from the firm of Alarcon and Sines. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. No public comments, sir.
No public comments. Does anybody want to do any public comments? Okay, let's go to adjournment.
Good night.